Welcome everyone! A couple of weeks ago, I had a live stream saying the final stream, or the last stream. I can't remember what I titled it exactly. And it was under the pretense that we will not be streaming again for an indefinite amount of time. Well, I have officially moved to Maine, and the internet here is awful. And everybody in the stream was like, not everybody, but a lot of people in the stream were like, you should get Starlink, you should get Starlink. Yes, but starting Starlink was going to be pricey, $350 for the equipment, plus the first month. I was like, yeah, that's not really something I can just budget in right away, so we're gonna have to just save up for it and, you know, keep it in the back of our mind. Maybe for Christmas we can stream again. That's kind of the idea that was going through my head. Then I was like, you know what if we just let everybody know that that's our goal? And then somebody donated the money to pay for it. So we have ordered Starlink, and we are waiting for it to come in the mail. It's got like, you get like the satellite thing that you put out in your yard, and it connects to the satellite in the sky, many satellites in the sky, and bada bing, bada boom, you have better internet than if you are just living in rural Maine, which I am living in. Like, I'm not even playing the game right now because the internet's so bad. I can't play. I can't. And so since the title of this video is something along the lines of I will stream again, or we are streaming again, or whatever it's going to be, I've decided to show you a stream highlight. Two stream highlights in the background from one of my most recent streams back in July. I believe it was July 17th that we played this game, and the next one following. This was the first game of the stream, and then the next game that we have is one of the last games of the stream. We kind of sandwiched good games into the stream. But we're pulling out the IS-22, a tank that I am not a fan of. I don't like it at all. It's kind of, I shoot at it and I bounce off of it, and then people shoot at me and they pen me. And so I'm just not a huge fan of the tank myself. 300 alpha damage, it's a double shot, but the 300 just isn't that good, in my opinion. This game is, you're gonna be like, oh, you're doing great. But this game, I'm being allowed to just shoot every time I'm loaded and stay kind of hulled down. So I'm gonna be blocking some damage. I'm gonna be staying alive. I'm gonna just keep putting shell in after shell. We put in the double shot there into the Sturm, killing him out of the game because he's kind of scary. If we're hulled down, he can still damage us pretty consistently. But yeah, 300 alpha damage. You take like 7.8 seconds or something like that to reload each gun. It's not the prettiest, and so I'm not a huge fan. It looks like I went to double tap, but I accidentally loaded the gun. Oh well. So I'm not a huge fan of just of this gun, just simply because the premium version, the 7032, is vastly superior to this. And obviously that's not a great reason to be like, oh well, this tank is better or that tank is better. But premium tanks should never be better. And so I always, because I'm an old school tanker, I've played since beta. Premium tanks used to be worse than the tech tree counterparts, but they had something special about them. Like the IS-6 had the special hull and the better DPM. Same with the T-14, it had the better hull, or the unique hull with its angling, and that was cool. And that's just what you got, or you got preferential matchmaking, something of the sort. However, you don't get that anymore. Now the premium tanks are just better. And so I'm still in the old school perspective that your tech tree, fully upgraded tech tree tanks should be better than your premium counterparts. But that's not the case. And so because of that, I think this tank's not that good. But again, that's just an old school view of the game. But yeah, so we're getting streams back up and running, guys. While we're playing in the background here, let's talk about that. Double tap this guy. We roll low. Unable to kill him. What does this entail if we're getting streams back up? Well, we're going to be streaming a lot more often than we used to before. Okay, we're going to kind of do it more than once or twice a week. Probably 3 or 4 times even a week. Might even become like a daily thing. But they won't be as long if we do it like that. Because basically I'm dedicating a lot of time a day to creativity. That would be creating videos, that would be writing, that would be doing live streams, or something else that I do on the computer that makes money. And so that is something that we're working on. Very excited about that. On top of that, people keep asking me, how do I donate to the stream? How do I donate to the stream? That's something I never really wanted to incorporate. I only have GoFundMes every once in a while when, like, hey, this is desperately needed, or oh my goodness, our car ignited on fire, what do we do? You know, stuff like that. I have permanently incorporated now a GoFundMe that will always be open. People can come, they can donate if they want to. The goal says $1, but that's just because it's there to exist. And the link will be in the description of every video, every live stream. It's going to be there, so if you want to, you may. You don't need to, though. Okay, it's just there for those who want to, because there are those who ask me for it. And by using GoFundMe, they take a very small percentage. It's one of the lowest percentages of all the other places that, you know, have donations. Like Streamlabs, Stream Elements, all those places, Patreon, they all take a percentage. GoFundMe takes a very small percentage, and so that's what I've gone with. And they have alerts, so you will pop up when you donate during live streams, which is really cool. So I'm excited about that. So it's like, hey, this person donated. Unless it's anonymous. If it's anonymous, then it won't pop up. So I think, if I remember correctly, that's how it works. But I could be wrong. But we'll figure that out. And if not, we'll find another way to do it. But for now, GoFundMe is easy. So that's what we went with. Well, how's this game going? Well, we're tied, but we're capping out the base. This is the perfect time to do it. This is why cap circles are so important and why I don't want to see them removed. It's not because now that we're using a cap circle, or it's not because, oh, we're capping the base and then we're going to win the game. No, we're capping the base and pulling them out of cover to reset, and that has given us the advantage here. And it makes it so that you do have to, you know, win certain areas of the map. You have to have map control. You have to set up to defend your base. You have to do all these things. If you get rid of cap circles, the game becomes less dynamic, right? Less things you have to think about, and it's just easier, toned down. This shot right there hit the engine deck of the Fatherland, or the Stockade. Pretty lucky shot. And we're up to 5,800 damage. And we've just been sitting here farming the tanks as they try to reset the base. And they did get the reset, and they did get a kill. But we got 3, I believe, in this time sitting here. And we're going to continue to put out hurt, just defending the cap circle. Our team's going to cap it out. Their team's going to die. Going for that shot underneath here. We do have a tracking shot. We do hit it. And now he's given us a better shot to go straight through his underbelly. And we go in. And now another T-29 on the left. We do have a shot on him. Upper plate. Easy. Straight through. T-29's a one-shot. He's dead. Now it's just the T-32A. But we are capping out. Except the T-32A decided he doesn't want us capping out. And so he drives off the bridge and kills himself. No base cap. T-32A is dead. 6,100 damage. Done. Probably, definitely, my highest damage game in this tank. And probably I'm not going to be beating it anytime soon because I'm not going to be playing this once I finish the grind. And I've not finished the grind. I still have a long way to go. 250,000 experience needed to get the next tank. Ouch! This one is expensive. Unsurprisingly, it was an ace tanker. Thank goodness. We have aced this tank and we don't have to worry about it anymore. Derpenberg in the T-44-100. I like this tank. I like the T-44 in general. It's pretty good. The Russian mediums starting at tier 8 all play like each other. The T-44 used to be one that people weren't really too keen on. It was kind of weak. 175 standard pen on the 100 millimeter. This is way back in the day, so 175 was fine. A 175 pen, a derpy gun, but it was mobile and it was low profile. And the gun did pack some damage from time to time. Like 250 alpha damage for a medium tank at tier 8 at the time was impressive. 240 was the standard that you had on your 90s and 88s, and so to have a tank that did 10 more was kind of cool. And this tank actually was still really good. People just didn't figure out how to play it yet. You use your mobility, you get in close, you shoot from afar if you have to, and so on and so forth. It's really good at circling, it's really good at brawling, it's really good at side hugging. Overall, it's a pretty good tank. But it's received many, many buffs, making it even better. The gun handling is better, the DPM is better, the penetration is better. And I believe the mobility these days is better. But don't quote me on that. So that's the T-44. T-44-100 is basically identical, it just has side skirts. And it's a little bit more sluggish because of that. Barely. It's barely more sluggish. But you have more side armor now. Better at side scraping, better at getting awkward bounces, awkward shells absorbing. It's a bit of a heat shield, though. Heat in this game is only weak against angled spaced armor. It's not weak against spaced armor. Owie. That was an S-fac. Double tapped me there. No good. Those S-facs. I'm not a fan. Not a fan in the slightest. But heat shells, people are like, oh, it's weak against spaced armor. Oh, it's weak against angled armor. No. So heat shells don't ricochet until 85 degrees. Normal shells like AP and APCR ricochet at 70 degrees. So heat has a better chance of going through angled armor. It doesn't normalize, so when you're shooting the upper plate of a mouse, it's 310, 320 effective. When you're shooting with an AP shell, it's about 290 effective because of normalization. However, your heat shells at tier 10 usually have 330, 340 millimeters of penetration, and so they're going to be punching through. Even though they need to go through more armor because they're not normalizing, they have more penetration. That makes them better against angled rounds, and that's something a lot of people don't realize. On top of that, the heat has a jet stream. When it hits something, this molten jet of metal is shot into the hull or shot out of the shell, and it travels a certain distance. It travels 5 meters. Every bit of distance it travels, it loses penetration, yes, but it travels 5 meters after it ignites. Meaning, unless you have spaced armor on your tank that's, 3, 4, maybe 2 meters away from your tank and nullifying that jet stream, it doesn't matter. The jet is going to shoot through your tracks, it's going to shoot through your side skirts, and it's going to shoot through your hull. Heat shells are very effective against even the super Pershing. You can just pelt that thing with heat shells and it goes right through, despite it having 3 layers of armor. And that's how heat works. Once you angle spaced armor, that's when it starts blocking heat shells. Now, this is a mechanic that I'm not a fan of, because on a real tank in real life, if a heat shell hits spaced armor, that jet stream that comes out gets dispersed, and so it's not this narrow point like it is when it hits the armor it's supposed to go through, because it's shooting in the one conglomerative spot, melting straight through the armor, and bada bing bada boom. You are hitting a layer, then it's shooting through that layer, and then dispersing into a spray, and so it's not melting through the armor behind it. And therefore, I feel like that's how the armor or heat shell should work in this game, is if you hit spaced armor, just nullify it. Spaced armor is completely heat proof. Or should I say the armor behind spaced armor becomes heat proof. And that would be really nice. I am a fan of this game becoming more tactical, having advantages and disadvantages. And right now, the only disadvantage heat really has in the game is the fact that it travels slower. And so I think it could use a bit of a rework. APCR, same thing. APCR doesn't really have a disadvantage to AP. You only get 2 degrees normalization rather than 5, but you have more penetration, so it doesn't matter. And the auto ricochet is still 70 degrees despite normalization. And so again, it doesn't matter. It's just more penetration and faster shell velocity. APCR is known for doing less damage to tanks. That's historical, because their shells are moving faster and they're more narrow. So it's not creating as much of damage once it penetrates inside, and sometimes it over-penetrates. And so again, I feel like APCR should do less damage. Again, a bit of a, hey, you want to have more penetration? Okay, you do less damage. And I know Blitz did that, and I really like that. I am a fan of more tactics, add more things to reward players for thinking, and then also makes it so that if you just want to be the person who doesn't really know, and you're just shooting standard rounds, you actually have the advantage of alpha. You have the advantage of DPM. You just have to aim for weak spots. And so if you just want to learn weak spots in the game, and take advantage of weak spots, you're going to have an advantage over players who want to spam premium rounds. Which I think is amazing. Reward knowledge, reward skill, reward thought. But that's my take on it. We were in a bit of a slow part of the battle, and now things are going to start speeding up again. We are up on tanks, we are not up on health, and right as I say that, they get 2 kills rather quickly. And we bounce off the Inferno there, an awkward bounce. We've loaded our premium rounds. We don't carry many on this tank, so we're going to have to be careful. There's not many tanks left, and there's not much armor left, really. There's a T-29. He's the top tier, or the only heavy tank left alive. We're firing one there into his turret ring. The shell flies true because of 6.0 accuracy, no problem. Things are going to change a whole lot when they get rid of steady aim. I'm so excited. Tanks are going to start performing like they used to in the old days. It's quite interesting to me how many tanks, or how many companies and businesses and things these days are reverting back to how they were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. because things kind of worked. We're in a new age, I think, where people are realizing that, hey, maybe it's not a good idea to change things because this person who graduated from college and didn't learn anything about this because they were taught social things isn't quite working. It's like, let's go back to when people learned arithmetic and they designed these things. Perfect! And things are working again. So I'm very excited to see what becomes of World of Tanks console, what becomes of World of Tanks PC. The change on there is quite interesting. But we find ourselves now in a 2 versus 4. Blind shot into the XM, unable to hit. Oh boy, what are we going to do? We've got this heavy tank and I want to support him, but I can't. I just can't brawl with him right now. We are a one-shot. The SVAC is still very much alive. Artie is still very much alive, and Artie's going to do some disgusting things this game, which we're not going to see, but it does happen. I went back to the replay to watch. There's a T-32A Proto on our team. Doing very well. He is, and he was supposedly going to be a good ally to have, as he knows what he's doing. But they have an S51, and I want to kill this S51 before he does anything nasty to my team. I don't want him digging out my T-32A. That would be a bit awkward. Oh, do we have a shot on this guy? If we back up, we should. There it is. Right into him. 11 APCR shells left. We should put another free shell into him here. Aim it up. Boom. Nice. One more shot. Can we do it before we move on? Right there. Yes, we can. He's a one-shot now for us. Guaranteed one-shot as well for the T-32A. That should help him out. Hopefully. We're up to 2,900 damage. There he is. Our T-32A bounces off of him or tracks him, and it finishes him off. Good stuff. Good news. Wonderful things are happening. It is now a 2 versus 3. There's the SVAC spotting my T-32A. And there's the S51. That was a full penetration on the T-32A, who, by the way, was moving. Not good. We are now in a 1 versus 3 situation, and they have 5% more health than we do, but there is the S51. We light him up, and he was already driving away. It's like he knew we were coming. So we're going to try to find some shots into him here, beyond this building. He should be right there. Yep, HE shell. Easy. 341 damage done. Our reload is quick these days on this tank. Can we put another HE shell into the back of his tank? Yes, we can, and he is now a one-shot for us. I really want to get him off the board, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. We're switching back to our AP shells. No, we're going APCR. That's right. We're tryharding. We want to win this game. We have the XM still to kill. We are one shot for the XM. We are a one-shot if the SVAC is going to use both his shells, which he probably will. And then artillery is a random one-shot as well. Not good. We shot the S51, though, so hopefully the SVAC is now trying to cover the S51. That would be very good to have happen, because he's falling back to his base, but I'm actually falling back to my base. But now the enemy is capping the base, meaning everyone knows where I need to go in order to reset, in order to win this game, is I need to go after my base, and I'm going to try to spot it. But we're talking about tank destroyers. Tank destroyers have a 15% camo multiplier if they're using camouflage, which is absolutely insane. It's huge. Thankfully, they're removing that so that you have to be stationary, just like it used to be in the olden days. But if you still use it, you'll still have 7.5%. So, little things there. But no, I'm not spotting him. He's not spotting me. I know I have to get closer. I'm a one-shot for him. I might have to side scrape. I'm hoping it's the SVAC, but I know it's probably not going to be. Like, that's the hope. Please be the SVAC, because the SVAC I can side scrape pretty easily enough. If he fires both his shells off, one might penetrate, but hey, I'll probably survive, and I'll beat his reload, and I'll kill him. But that's hopeful thinking. You think it's going to be the SVAC? Probably not. There's the Artie. Boom, he's out of the game. That's fortuitous. Wonderful. Now we just have to kill this guy. And we're not spotting him, not spotting him, not spotting him. We're going to have to turn our gun to the right here. Get our mantlet around the corner. Come on, where's he at? 5 seconds, 4 seconds, there he is. He's moving. Breaks his camo. We put a shell into him. He misses us. We finish him off. And suddenly we find ourselves in a 1 versus 1 with the SVAC having 1% health. He is likely going to be a one-shot for us. We're up to 4,200 damage. We have to find this guy. He should see us before we see him, and that's terrifying. But we've got to keep moving. Gonna use our tank like a submarine here. And burrow our way through the water. And come up from a different area. Where's he? Where's he gonna be? I assume he was sniping on this ridgeline. That's where I would have been as well. It made it so I had to very much expose myself to the XM in order to shoot him without being shot by the SVAC. So a good play by the SVAC, but not good enough, I say. And we're going to use these bushes here so he does not see us on our approach if he is in there. And he is in there! And now he's dead. That's it. We fired. Boom. Killed him as quick as we could. Never even saw the shell coming. We did it without being spotted. 4,367 damage done. Not a huge damage game, but it was an exciting one, and so I wanted to share it with you guys. If you did not watch that live stream, more games like this will be coming soon. Again, we're gonna be streaming again. Holy moly, that's exciting. Streaming, we're gonna have subscription, well, not just subscriptions. We're gonna have donations open if people want to do that, and just more content for you guys. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get Starlink going. And I'm excited to grow this channel, and I'm excited to have the $500 giveaway once we reach 17,500 subscribers. So subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be seeing you guys all there. Take care, everyone, and peace out.